All right. Cool. Okay. Thank you, Shikha, so much for the introduction. Can everybody hear me okay? Am I perfectly audible? Yeah. Okay. Since somebody said, okay. Yeah. Weirdly, we have to start our meetings like this nowadays, right? But yeah, so thank you so much for the introduction, Shikha. One of the first times when I spoke to Shikha, I asked her, how long is our session going to be? Mainly because when I talk about the topic of filmmaking, I think I can go on and on. So please excuse me if that happens today. I'm going to try to make it as concise as possible. So, before I start talking about filmmaking or short films or the process, I want to talk to you a little bit more about my journey so far. Something that doesn't come in the credits section. It just shows you assistant director, director, writer, but stuff that is a little bit more than that. So I started off. So obviously, none of us, we don't start off as being filmmakers. Most of the time, we are in XYZ profession, and then we come into this profession. So something similar happened with me. I was a international tennis player. I played for India, and then I transitioned to the boring corporate life, and I realized quickly that was not for me. And I was in the US, and then I came back and decided that I have to do something in the creative field. And for me, I think the best platform of that was best platform for storytelling was filmmaking. I've always been a writer. I've attempted writing a couple of novels. I've written poems since like I was 8 years old. So writing was the most familiar way for me to get into the industry. I was lucky enough to be, introduced to some really great people who have come and gone that I've worked with. Sumitra Bhave was one of the greatest female directors we have seen so far in India. And I was, I had a privilege of working with her in the beginning of my career itself. By beginning, I mean I was her secretary. And then eventually I transitioned into being her assistant director. And then I would say I have learned filmmaking the old school way of just um, being with her day in day out, me and my team. That's where I actually met my team, and we are still a team today. But we would be at her place the entire day. We would watch her films, we would learn from her films, we would discuss films, not just with her but also with like my team, which was the same team we have today. So that is where the starting of my career happened, and that was quite a push, learning from one of the best indie filmmakers that we have seen in the industry. Um, After that, I dived more into the writing side of things. I assisted in writing for a couple of Crime Patrol episodes. Then Kanni, as Shikha said, I assisted in writing for Kanni. And then I did my first student short film, which I directed, I wrote, and I also acted in, because you have to wear a lot of hats in your first couple of films that you do. And I realized that directing is also a lot of fun. It's a unique way of for a writer to tell their story that is beyond just words on a page. It's something that um, you bring to life. I mean, when I saw that the words that I've written are now, turned into reality. I mean, once what used to be my imagination, now people can see it on the big screen. I thought that is nothing short of magic, and filmmaking genuinely feels like magic after you experience something like that. So after that, there was no going back. I was hooked, and I knew that I want to learn as many things as I can about this field. So I assisted a couple of directors on their projects. I assisted in Outhouse, and after a couple of years of assisting, of writing, um, I realized now it is time for me to, start with my short. And that was a conscious decision that after, I obviously all of us want to make feature films, web series, something greater. But I realized the first step I have to do is make my own short film. And for multiple reasons. One is obviously because I want to learn from it. And by short film, I mean a full production short film, with the right cameras and the right team and the right lights and the right equipment and the right actors. So, which means the right budget also. So, that was a conscious decision. And so the first step then started, and that was what is going to be the concept of this short film. And I think everybody comes to the point of concepts very differently. I usually just sit down and have like probably 10 things in my mind. Oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. But whichever concept sticks, and by sticks I mean I can't stop thinking about it, is the one that I eventually make sure I write down. And I would say that is how like Nebula was born. I It was a conscious effort of feeling what I want to express, what I want to say out of all the things that I want to say, and making sure if it has enough material in it for it to turn into a full-fledged script. So before I go ahead and talk more about like Nebula, I want to first tell you what the concept is, because if I just keep on going, you're not going to get the reference of what I'm talking about. So, Nebula is a story told from a point of view of a nurse, Nisha, who comes to visit Amar, who is a cancer patient in his 50s. So, Amar is refusing to getting admitted and getting care. So, he's just at his home getting the basic care, which is being forced by his son. Um, Evidently, Nisha has to come every other week to do his blood work, and over a period of time, they form a bond. Amar is adamant that he's not going to die, so they talk about death quite a bit. His philosophy of death is a little different. So he compares death with a dying star. The way a dying star is beautiful, aka Nebula, the same way death can be beautiful. You can see that this topic really affects Nisha, and we don't get to know why until the end of the film. And I don't want to give the spoilers, so this is like a spoiler-free synopsis. But you can see this topic is really affecting her. So certain events take place, and ultimately she understands what he means. That when a star dies, the gases and the particles it releases in the universe gets spread across the universe. But they don't just disappear. They either become a part of another star or they themselves form a new star. The same way, when a person dies, they aren't just gone. The work they have done, the people they have influenced, the things they have created, their essence basically stays. So, in short, that is what Nebula is about. It is a philosophical dialogue, a thought I want to provoke in the mind of an audience, that maybe, we can look at death in a different way when we approach the acceptance of it. There are various, you know, ways that people grieve and various deaths that people experience. And we are part of the universe and we are one. So maybe we can approach it in a different way. So that was basically the concept of Nebula, and so obviously it didn't come all at once. It was just the thought of how we can show death as a concept, and then eventually it grew from there. So once I had the concept written down, I went on and wrote the script, and the script has gone through variations of changes. But when I was finally ready, that okay, I think I like what is going on here. It feels good. That's when I decided that I'm going to read it out to say one person who's going to give me honest and correct feedback. And the feedback ended up being good. And the next step was to narrate it to my team. And it seemed like everybody understood what I'm trying to convey. And this was something that they felt, they could feel what I'm trying to say. And we just saw potential in this. So once that was ready, I knew, okay, this is something I want to take forward. So then the next step came, which was money, right? I was pretty sure I didn't want to do, a student film where you just grab a camera and go and shoot. I wanted it to be like a mini film where I have all the elements ready, right? So that I'm ready for the when it's time for the big thing. So um, uh, initially I had saved up some money, and then we began with the pre-production process. And we were doing two things at once. One was, looking for finding a location, and the other was casting. So the casting of Nisha was quite straightforward for me because it was a friend of mine, Aishwarya. So she's a learned actor. She's worked in various projects, various films, and various serials. So I was quite sure she's gonna already do that. The main challenge for us was the casting of Amar. The biggest challenge was that he was a cancer patient, and he would need to be a little, he can't have hair basically. So for us to find the actor who would fit in that realm was quite the challenge. And our first time around, we did a lot of research, and eventually we landed with Atul Parture, and that is how we got started. So we made sure that we had enough time for pre-production. From whatever experience I've had, the better you plan, the better your smoother the film is going to be, right? So we went into details of everything. Unfortunately, it was the hardest part was to find the location, because I knew exactly what I wanted in terms of location, and with the given budget, it was impossible to find what we were looking for. So, as things went forward, I realized that the amount of budget I needed for the film, for me to make justice of the film that I had, was not enough. So, I had to make a hard decision to stop the process that we were in, right? So after that, time just passed. I genuinely just lived life. I did other projects, I did ads, and the short film was just kind of, I would say, marinating. And luckily, I met Chetan, who is the co-producer of the film, and he was interested in co-producing, and then we met, and then the second time around, we got started again. I called Atul sir immediately that we are ready. We had done a lot of pre-production already, so we got started again. This time, I was able to find the location that we were looking for because we had the right amount of resources for it. So uh, we are ready. We did a full month of pre-production, from everything from short division to floor planning to rehearsals to costumes, everything we were ready with, from the props and everything. And then we faced a hurdle that was a very difficult, unexpected, and sad thing that we had to go through. So it was 1 week before we went on floor, and I get a message from Atul sir saying that he's not well, and I'm like, okay, please take care. Your health comes first, compared to everything. Um, and 2 days later on, I get a call from his daughter saying that he's no more. So that was something, we were making a film about grief, but it just hits so differently every time that we didn't know what to deal with at that point. For everybody in my team, uh, it was a very crazy thing. You prepare yourself for all the hurdles you're gonna get on a film set. This is something nobody can ever prepare you for. So obviously we took our time. We dealt with our own emotions. We took our time, and after some time, for I guess the second time or third time, we regrouped, and we are like, okay, let's move forward with the best way we can. So for us to find another cast, that not think of Atul sir was the hardest part. And we were so absolutely lucky to find a person that really did justice to Amar's character, and that is when we met with Yatin Karakar. So another actor with amazing level of experience in the film industry. He not just is an actor, but he also teaches acting. So I knew that there was a lot to learn from him as well. So once again, we were almost ready to go on floor. So just with a week or two of prep, we were back again, and finally it was the first day of the shoot. Our shoot was for 2 days. So I would say this was like a 2.5 year journey for a shoot which was like 2 days long. The shoot, I have to say, my biggest asset was my team, and everybody was just absolutely perfect in their designation in their department. I had Nishant, who's the DOP of the film. With a lot of experience. He was on the team of Superboys of Malegaon. He's done a bunch of Marathi and Hindi films, so he brought in his own experience. My direction team was also super experienced, and we have worked so many times before that it was quite familiar. And everybody from art to costumes to makeup, everybody just did a phenomenal job with the resources and the time that we have. It's not easy when you are constricted of time and resources to create something. So, but still, everybody knew what was the goal. The best part was that everybody had the same goal of making the best out of this script that we have, out of the actors that we have. So that was a wonderful experience. And after that, one of the biggest another challenge is the editing and the grading process. So I took some time for that to happen, and finally the film was ready, and it was screened, think in October or September of last year, just a couple of months ago, and the response was quite good. So that was a good experience ending to it. So now we've just started our film festival journey, and one of the first results that we got was in the Delhi shorts. So we have more festivals and everything that is going to come. So this is just the beginning of this entire year is just going to be festival rounds. But to end here, I want to mm, name the top three things that I learned from my own experience. The whole point of me telling my experience is that maybe you took away some things that I didn't even realize. But the things that I think I learned and I want to share with you guys is the first thing is that the team you have defines your experience and your film. I don't say this lightly when I say if you have a good team, the chances of you making a good film go up like crazy. You could be, a novice filmmaker or an experienced filmmaker. If you don't have the right team, it's going to hurt the art that you're trying to create. Because it is ultimately art, and it's ultimately linked to our emotions and our experience. So I was extremely lucky to have a good team and to make the best of the best from the resources that we had and the time we had and all of that. So choosing the right team members is quite very important. And one of the reasons why one should do a short film before you do a feature film, and this so that you get to work with a team and you know who you want in your project in the future, who you want, who's your which team members has which strength, and their strength is going to be your strength and your strength is going to be their strength. So your team is absolutely essential. So that's one. Number two is, I think, my favorite, and this is something I have to remind myself also quite lot of times. And I think every writer goes through this. And it's that your script is a thing of its own. You just have to bring it to life. So I'll say that again, okay? Your script is a thing of your own, thing of its own. You just have to bring it to life. When we go to write something, we have a lot of doubts in our mind. Is this script good? Does it have value? Is it gonna, are people gonna like it? Is it going to make money? Is it gonna win festivals? Am I going to get a producer out of this? Um, there is no way you have an answer to those questions unless you are going to bring it to life. The first draft of Nebula and what it was when we just shot it were like miles apart. And that's because when I brought it to life, say when I wrote it, I read it to so many people. I read it to my team, I read it to my actors, I read it to my DOP, and everybody views it from their lens, which is what makes it better, because you can't have answers to all of the questions, which is why your team is important, their inputs are important. Or it could be your fellow writer, it could be your friends, it could be anybody from the industry who knows a thing or two about scripts and writing. When they give you feedback and it grows, it's going to get better. So please don't judge your script from its first draft or where it is right now, or especially if it's just in your head, then you definitely shouldn't judge it because it is going to evolve. You know, you have to treat your script as your child in a way. You have to give it the right environment to grow. Okay, don't try to put it in a formula. What happens? I think people put it in a formula because they are scared, they fear uncertainty. What if my script doesn't do good? Oh no, let me, this thing worked in XYZ film, maybe I should do it that way. This worked and they got so much money out of it, maybe I should do it that way. Trust me, that's not going to work for your film, your script, because that is totally and completely yours. It's unique. You have to treat it differently from anything that has been created so far. So give it time, give it space to grow. It is going to grow. Okay. That's two. So number three is making a film is like life. The clearer you are, the better steps you will take and the better you will lead. So I know this sounds kind of obvious that the clearer you are, the better the film is going to be. But what I mean is that you have to get into the cracks of your walls, right? You have to go to the smallest of the detail and make sure you've thought about it. For example, you have to know what color walls do you want on your set of your film. You have to know what is the emotion that you want your audience to feel. You have to do things like short division and floor planning so precisely that there is no uncertainty, or you're so crystal clear that you will have your eyes closed and know what to do. So the more you work on it, the more clearer you're going to get and the better the steps are going to be. uh, that is like the most important thing that I have to say. I mean, I had so many more learnings than these three. There are quite a few, but these are my top three, and I hope you resonate with some of that. I hope you resonate with my journey. Everybody's journey is so completely and totally different that there is absolutely no way to compare to filmmakers or compare anything. It's just that learning from others' experience can definitely take you a couple of steps ahead than uh, where you are. So that's it, I think, from my end. And we can, have a conversation and see if there is more we can talk about. Thank you.
Absolutely wonderful session. Thank you so much. I think each
Thanks.
and every word was so informative. Like I was listening so deeply to all whatever you have said. And I think this is an inspiration for someone who is moving towards making a short film. Uh, Definitely very amazing session. Everything was super informative for us. Uh, I have two questions, and then we can open it for one thing is that how do you understand, like, when you choose for a short film, how do you choose, and actor has to be a known face or can be a lesser known face? That is my one question. And what is a hard stop on a budget for a short film? These are my questions, and you can answer, and then we'll open, like, people can ask. Please raise your hand and I will unmute people for asking questions.
Cool. Okay, so we'll go to the first one, and both of them have a similar kind of answer. So it depends on what your goal are for the short film. You have to identify your goals. My goal to making the short film was so that I am strong enough now to make a feature film. That was my goal. But somebody's goal could be that I want to get my name out there as much as possible. Um, and also maybe try to make some money, or it could be some of that. Both are very important goals to have, but it's necessary that you identify which one that is. If your goal is to like learn or to form your own team, then it's not necessary to have a known face or a famous person. But if your goal is to get out there, build your network, um, make sure your film is seen by a few more people, then realistically, yes, it is better to have somebody with a known face. And when it comes to budget, oh my God, there is no limit, honestly, because even with the budget that you have, you're always going to feel, oh my God, if I had this much, I could have done this much more. And that is the issue also with the industry, that there is no shortage of budget. So it is important to know what is the least amount of budget you need, because that is a problem that I went through, that my initial budget was very low, that it would have hurt the film. So I would recommend having a lower limit of key, okay, we can't go below this, because if we go below this, we will hurt our art, we'll hurt our project, we'll hurt our short film, and that's not going to help us. So I would recommend you have that instead of the higher limit, because there is no limit for the higher one.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. Aman has a question, so you can
Yes.
unmute yourself.
Uh, Hello, Aman here. I just wanted to ask you, like the vision when you are writing a story, does it 100% come out as if when you see the visuals? Like when you wrote it, you had a vision in your mind, you imagined something, but after seeing this visual, you were satisfied with those, or there, like as a filmmaker, we need to make some concessions towards those also.
So you're asking if you see a visual, like a sort of a scene in front of your mind, and that is how you go ahead. Is that what you're asking, Aman?
Uh,
Yes,
Okay, I
like
think this, yeah.
I was trying to say, when you visualize something while writing, you have a
Mm,
vision, you have a scene in mind, and when you see that same scene in front of you on the screen,
mm.
does that feel different, or that feel it can be more than what it is now, or what you envisioned it is not properly captured? Does that sort of feeling?
Yeah, okay. I got it. I completely get your question. So that fortunately and fortunately is going to depend on you. If you are the writer and director of that film, most likely it is going to be very same to it's very similar to what you have envisioned, the feeling. But that also depends on the situation, and your budget. For example, I imagine that, I have a superhero who is sort of flying, but I go to make the short film and I'm not able to show him fly because of the budget restraints. It's not going to be the same, which is why I was telling Shikha that you should have a base minimum level of budget that is for your short film, so you can make the best out of it. So that completely depends on you and your situation, but it is definitely possible for you to see, you to sort of whatever you visualized coming to life. Yes, that does happen. I hope I answered your question.
yeah. Is it okay, Aman? Should I think Akshay, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much.
Akshay, you can unmute.
Yeah, got it. I got it. So, Shali, the thing is, the question I have before I ask one question, I have a context. I have the context is that I've written a particular screenplay for a particular film, but I initially thought of shooting it in the camera, but then I understood that okay, it's going all over it's going overboard, it's becoming an overkill. So I thought of going for the animation route. So now the question is how to find out that how will this particular thing not cost much instead of being shot in the camera. If we do it in the computer itself, will it be cost effective than what we do it in the camera?
I'm not an animation expert, so I'm not sure if I can answer your question. Creatively, they are going to be different. Whatever you capture on the camera and whatever you're going to animate, that doesn't mean it's going to be bad. It's just that they will be different in terms of creativity.
Mm.
Uh, for me to know if it's going to be more expensive or cheaper, I don't know your budget, so I wouldn't know if it's going to be that way. But I think you should maybe reach out to somebody who is into animation, share your script with them, and just they will be able to tell you at least an approx of how much it is going to be, and then you can compare that with your uh, budget, which you were going to use to shoot on camera.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, you're welcome.
Okay. Ritwan, you can ask the question.
Hey Sharlee, thanks for taking this session. It has been really great. Am I audible?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So I just wanted to know ki, if I pitch to a producer, what is one sure shot thing that they will get from my film, apart from watching a good film? Like one reward why they should invest in it because it is sure shot, like 110% ये तो होगा ही अगर वो इसमें पैसा डालेंगे.
There is no such thing. I know that is not something you want to hear, but maybe if you have like Shah Rukh Khan or somebody in already invested in your project, like हाँ मैं बिल्कुल करूँगा अगर आपको producer मिल गया तो, then maybe he will invest, sure shot. There is just no guarantee because every producer has a different kind of goal that they are going with. So it depends. If your script aligns with their goal, then it's going to work out. If you have written a super commercially good film which is going to work amazing commercially, and that is exactly what they want, maybe they will invest in your script. So, or if, there are also producers who want to invest in a more of art or films or awareness based films. So you have to find a producer who is sort of in alignment with what your script is. So that's one way.
Yeah, you answered it really nicely. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Yeah, Kumkum, please.
Hi. So I recently wrote and directed my short film, and
Congrats.
thank you. And what I had not seen, कि मतलब ऐसा होगा that in post production I got really stuck. Like I feel like आई थॉट कि हो जाएगा ठीक है एडिट पे मतलब एडिट पे देख लेंगे बट आई नोटिस दैट the things that I had thought it's not coming through, and my editor is a doc is he's a person who has done documentaries and corporate TVs and all. He's not a fiction editor, so I'm facing some roadblocks also with him, but I have this मतलब मेरे अंदर एक वो है कि मैं इससे ही कराऊंगी so now I'm thinking, is it a very common phenomenon, like have you also faced this in your post, and whether I should change my editor?
I would recommend you doing one thing. You could do a director's cut and an editor's cut. So you can maybe try doing that, right? Like you can just sit with him and tell him ki, you have to cut here. And this is going to be
We've
director's
done
cut.
that.
So you have to listen to me. You have to say
Yeah,
that.
we have done that. So there was a cut that I said कि ऐसे ऐसे करो करके ठीक है. Did not like it myself when
Okay.
it came out because we did it in chunks. and when we put together the chunks, the flow was not working because it was a first cut. Then the second cut was the editor's cut, and in the editor's cut I did not like the narrative because it was not the rhythm I wanted, not the feeling I wanted. Then we did a third cut, and the third cut is very similar to, it's now going in that zone. So that's what I'm trying to understand, that it's a very normal thing I suppose, that ये चार पांच cuts ऐसे बनते ही बनते चले जाता है, and then you sort of start to figure it out. Or so that's why, because third cut में वो थोड़ा बहुत आने लग गया, then I thought maybe I should give it more time and I should be patient with him.
There are definitely multiple drafts of edits that one has to go through, because you will also show it to other people and they will also give their inputs. And
Yeah.
as long as the emotional rhythm is there to the film, it's, not hindering the story that exists, it should be fine. Then you can work over it. But if the emotional this thing is not working out, then your edit is not ready. So I think for us it took a couple of rounds and we were ready for the next step. But may have you written this short?
Yes, I have written it.
Okay.
The thing is, I wrote it like a practice film, but it grew in size because of the sort of team we were able to create and all. So now the thing is, we did pre-production in 1 month, we shot it in 4 days, but it's been on edit for 8 months.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yes. So
Maybe you should change your editor.
because he's slightly like, laid back, and I'm also letting it flow because it was on a collab basis also, so I don't want to put
Yeah.
pressure, because
Yeah.
everyone has their own paid assignments also to do.
Yeah. At
So
this point, in 8 months, you could have learned editing and done it yourself.
I know how to edit actually. It's the
Okay.
but I know basics. I did not
Yeah.
want to get into there was rotoscopy involved, there was a lot
Mhm.
of things involved. So
Yeah.
that is
I
why.
think you have to know what is not working in the edit. Like, not working in the edit is a little broad. What exactly is not working? Once you know what is not working, maybe you have to like remove an entire chunk or half chunk or whatever, and then it will work. Or
I think I know what's not working. We don't have certain shots that we should have had, for example.
ah,
So
right.
so now it's like, how they say that the whole story is remade on edit. So
Yeah.
now I have to think of creative solutions to fix that.
Yeah. There's
So
only so much that can happen,
yeah.
that you can change in edit. Most of it is during shoot. So
My,
yeah,
my my thing was that, is it like an abnormally weird time to take on a post production? Like 8 months ho gaye hain, but I've seen people sitting on a short film for a year, but I know it's not healthy.
I I took like 6 months because I got married in the whole situation. So it depends. No, there is no time as such of, oh, itna lena chahiye, that much. It completely depends. People sometimes don't have money for post production, so they, ki save up money and then they do post production. So there is no like time of itna hona chahiye. I don't think you should think about
Hmm.
kitna time lag raha hai. You should maybe like don't focus your energy on that. Just think about what you can do instead, how you can
Right.
fill those things up. Maybe use like stock footages or b-rolls, or maybe shoot
Yeah, I'm
something.
thinking of actually doing that.
I
Patchwork
think
करते हैं
just
इसमें.
do that. Yeah, even if that takes another 2 years, it's okay.
Yeah, because anyway, I'm not putting any big budgets for post
Ah,
production, so I have to compromise on the time then.
yeah, that usually ends up happening. You have to, because your project is not going to be their first priority, because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like on a lower budget. So yeah.
Someone is saying,
You,
yeah,
yeah,
change
just if you can reshoot, shoot some extra bits, or like whatever you were saying, you don't have stuff to fill it in, just do that.
Yeah,
Don't
I do think
compromise.
shoot it, like shoot some scenes which now you feel like it's very
Yeah,
important for you.
yeah, why not? Why not? You've done so much already, so
Sure. Thank you.
Okay. Gurung, you can ask the next question.
Hello,
hi.
am I audible?
Yes.
Uh, Thank you so much, Miss Shirley, for doing this. It's an absolute pleasure to hear from you. And my question is mostly on the writing part, because I really want this. This is my first movie that I'm writing, and I work in a creative agency, and I've done editing, and uh, I also shoot videos and things like that. And currently, I'm in this stage where I'm trying to and my question is mostly on the how do you get that first script out there? Because the way I'm writing right now, it's like mostly I'm trying to outline and like trying to see I mean, if I'm writing a call to adventure, then I feel like I need to have four signs that will get them to the adventure. But then like I also get random glimpses of scene ideas which are in act 3 or act 4, but like I haven't stitched them together. But I get like random glimpses of like some a scene that's going to happen somewhere in the story without the story structure being formed and things like that. So my question is mostly on like uh, should I just keep pantsing, collect everything that floats to my awareness, or should I, you know, I'm not really sure. So, so
Can
I'm
I
not
ask you?
sure
Yeah.
how
Can I ask
I
you
can.
something?
Yeah,
Can I ask you something?
yeah.
Are you scared that your script is going to be bad?
Uh, that's a difficult question as well because yeah, I guess so.
And that's the issue.
Yeah.
It's not that you are getting anything wrong or like you're missing a piece or anything. Um, I mean, I think this happens to almost every writer, is that you sort of tell yourself that I have to work more for the script to be better. I have to have all the pieces of this puzzle for the script to be at the point where I'm ready to write it. And that's not true at all. You are gonna figure out the pieces you're missing as you write.
Okay.
So whatever you have right now, just like, I have to use this word, but just vomit it. Like just
Okay.
get it on the page, and it is going to be bad, and that's okay. Just
Okay.
like prepare yourself that it's going to be bad. Kya hoga? Okay, it's gonna stay with me, right? I don't have to share this with the world yet.
Yes.
So just finish it. Whatever is already there, just finish your first draft, and after that you will realize that this doesn't suck as much as I thought it's going to. I'm telling you, you will, because it's more so in your head. And whatever pieces you're missing, then maybe give a structure to it. It's okay if it doesn't even have a structure. If you don't have like a beginning, you don't have a clear middle. It's somewhat merging with the end or whatever. If you don't have clear three acts,
Mhm.
or if you have like a fourth or fifth act like hanging around, that's
Mhm.
okay. Like
Okay.
first, just get it done, and don't think so much on the perspective. Use like go very intuition wise on your first draft. Like,
Okay.
would do I enjoy writing this? The moment it becomes like a task, right, like a tedious thing of like, oh my god, I have to think so much for it, that's
Mhm.
when you have to take a step back and just feel whatever you're feeling.
Yeah.
Write
Yeah.
some, like when you write, just be like, am I going to enjoy watching this
Mhm.
when it's done?
Mhm.
If it could be a scene, it could be a dialogue. Am I
Okay.
going to enjoy when this comes up? If the answer is yes, or not enjoy, like feel, cry, whatever that emotion is currently in the
Okay.
film, just feel it. Don't write from your heart, not from your mind.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. Thank you so
Just do
much.
it. You got it. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sampath can go next, and then Akshay, you can again ask.
Yeah, hi, man. Hello,
Hi.
everyone.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi, Shelly. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. So I have a couple of questions, and the first one is, so as you said, we need to take feedback after every draft. So how do you choose the people to take the feedback from? On what basis?
um it's the people who are going to be so straight up with you, like they're going to be so honest with
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
It's usually those people, but also um the people who sort of are aligned on your film mindset, if you know what I mean, right? Like,
yeah, sensibilities.
they should also be watching films. It can't be like an
Yeah,
XYZ person. So they should be a
yes,
little bit informed about filmmaking, and they have to be brutally honest with you.
yep,
And that is actually very few people. So just
yeah,
make sure it's those kinds of people. Or a lot of the times, even like your fellow writers will help you out in that.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it. So we can reach out to fellow filmmakers
Yes.
and the common audience as
Yeah.
I think we should
It's
do
better
some
well.
if
Got it.
kind
you,
of, sorry,
yes. Yeah.
we should do some kind of session where we give feedback. I think we
Yeah.
should start something like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
that will work definitely.
Yes.
Also, yeah, another question is, so give us some suggestions about narrating a story to producer, like
Narrating to
when,
a producer.
yeah, the duration of narration, and how to narrate it. Any Jugaad that could help us out. Anything?
Yeah. Uh, I would say the one main thing is you have to practice your narration like crazy when you go to a producer.
Yeah,
And
sure.
you have to make your narration as it can't be like, सीधा साधा बात कर रहे हैं तो ये हुआ फिर that happened and this happened and then okay
Yeah,
this you have to be like full on performative if you can. That helps.
yeah,
Because if they
got
don't feel what you are trying to make them feel in that narration, then
exactly.
it's of no use. So you have to, and I know some people are not very performative. I'm very
Yeah,
bad at it. So maybe you could get, a teammate to do it for you. Somebody who
got
can
it.
narrate it that well, who's like going to be a part of the crew or whatever. So if they are
Got it.
that good that they can express and just, like narrate the story like amazingly, that also works.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. I also have one last question if you have time.
Yeah.
Manu, can I?
Yes, please, please.
Yeah. So how do you make a budget sheet during
Oh,
pre-production?
I mean, it depends on what is your goal for your film again. But if you want to do a full-fledged film, then I mean, if you don't have the knowledge of like everything, it's better to have a EP or somebody from production have do
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
Uh,
Yeah.
over
For
a period of time, I know
independent.
like how much would a rent for a camera per day cost, or how
Yeah.
much does this light cost, or how many
Lights. Yeah.
lights we will need on the set. So it is better to have somebody from production help you out. Or then
Perfect.
if you have a small crew, then ask like your cinematographer to give you a budget. But
Yeah.
from at this stage, it's good to just ask these questions to as many people as you can. Like, hey, like
Got
how many lights do I need for this
it.
scene?
Yes.
And how much does what one light cost? You have to also know
Yep.
because you don't know who may,
Yeah,
cause
Shirley.
you trouble. So yeah,
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to ask that around.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Akshay, you can ask.
Got it. And all the best for all the brothers. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Shadi, the thing is, since I'm one short film old, and you had said that whenever we direct a short film, okay, like a debut film, to be honest, then we get to know that how deep are we in the waters, how capable are we in terms of the direction part. Since it was my debut short film, I would say that I was a bit underconfident. But anyway, that's a separate story. But my question is that okay, uh, some people get the confidence itself from the first short film itself. Somebody gain confidence by after experience of say 10 or 12 short films. So how the experience varies, and how will it teach that particular filmmaker that okay, how to get the perfect shot and how to get everything right, and everything should be managed well, everything.
So this is from the director's point of view you're asking, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Um, this is my experience. I think when I did my first student film, I felt like, oh, I know a lot of things now. And at this point, I feel like, oh my God, there are so many things not that I don't know, that I have to figure out, that I want to know more and more things. Uh, that is when you know that now you know. I don't know if that makes sense. It's one of those sayings where it's like the more you know that the more you don't know things. So it you're honestly there's never going to be a point where you feel like you know everything. That is a myth. That is not true because every set is different. Uh, Technically, you should know the basics as a director, like a little bit about lenses and cameras. As a director, the number one thing you need to know is how to lead your team. That is the number one thing. If you know how to get the best work done from your team, how to keep unity, how to keep the strength of your team, and how you're gonna make sure your vision is coming alive correctly. If you know those things, you are ready to direct at whatever scale that you want to direct. So I would say that is, I don't think you should go on like how much you know. It's about have you developed the qualities you need in a director to have. That is more important.
That's true. And last question before I let someone else ask. The last question is that since I said that I'm just one short film old, so since I'm proceeding for the next short film, as I said that I'm gonna make it into an animation part, so I'm not gonna ask related to that. So my last question is that okay, since you said that okay, it depends on how the qualities of leadership are and all of that, but there are people I've seen who have great leadership skills, but somewhere or the other, one of the crew members or the technical people hijack the film. They hijack the film in such a way that they overtake it and they manage the whole thing, and that leads to a clash or a conflict of ideas, and even conflict of personalities too. So how to tackle that, how to ensure that the director should handle the show and not someone else hijack it.
So that is where you have to do your debut film, which I guess you have done. So um, that is one of the another main thing of being a director is how do you manage conflict, because conflict is evident, it is going to happen. You're working with so many people on the set with so many creative opinions that obviously it's going to happen. But obviously you have to know that everybody knows their positioning and their relation with the director and how it should be. If there is somebody who is going over and above to make sure there is disruption, you either figure a way out to manage situations with them, because no matter what situation you're in, your film is your number one priority. It is not that if I'm right, it's not that if he is right, wrong, or whoever is right or wrong in that situation does not matter. What matters
Mm,
is that you preserve your film, you make sure you get the best done out of your film in
mm,
whatever situation. If this this conflict with that person is not getting resolved, then you have to make a decision of either removing the person from the situation, or resolving the situation. There are only two things that you can do. But whatever decision you take, it has to be for the film and not for yourself. And when you are able to decide which one you're able to do, that's when you know that you're doing something right.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lino, you can go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, Shirley. So my
Hi.
question is something related to now that you had the context of death slash nebula as your theme portion. How did you go along with the characterization of the two characters? One you named Amar for possible reasons, and the other is the nurse. How did you get along with the characterization of them?
So whenever I think of my characters, they usually come. I mean, the concept comes first, and the characters come second. The characters have to be such that they play their own part in making sure the concept is flowing smoothly, or they, are in alignment with what I'm trying to say here. So that is the number one reasoning behind any character. For example, this film is a lot. It goes between philosophy and so the character of Nisha, she's more like the regular person who is like, death can't be beautiful. Okay, she keeps on saying that, which is why she's the more realistic, conserved type of person, and she had to be, because one character had to be that way. And Amar is more of the person who is like, no, I think death can be beautiful. So he's more of the dreamer, the person who sees things outside the box. So his character had to be that way. So once you get the core of how they have to be, then you can just expand on their other other additional characteristics that support your story. And also you have to make them unique in whatever way, in the way they talk, in the way they dress, in their accents, in the language that they use, depending on what their background is. So Nisha, because she's just starting out as a nurse, she comes from a lower socioeconomic background. So obviously then I know how her dressing style is going to be, how her language would be, etc., etc. So I feel like once you have the answer to one question, it's going to give you the answer to the next and the next, and I think that is how characters are formed for me. I hope this
Yeah.
answers your question.
Yeah, I got. Thank you.
Okay. I think we are just on time. I hope no other questions. If you guys have, then Sharlee is also on Freecomers and you can connect with her. To let her know also how you guys felt about the session. And it was amazing having you on the session, Sharlee. Thank you so much for giving us such beautiful description of your journey. And I have heard from Vivek as well how beautiful and depth your film has, and I would love to watch it if I get an opportunity.
Yes,
So
absolutely. Yeah, once the festival round is done, I'm going to make sure it is on some platform. So once that happens, I will let everybody know.
okay, thank you so much again, and thank you all of you for joining in. Do keep posting on Freecomers, and do join on the next sessions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.